Welcome to The Code, your guide to health and human performance. I'm your host, Dr. Andrew Fix from Physio Room, a performance-based rehab facility here in Denver. On this podcast, we're going to explore the key areas of your life that impact your overall health and wellness, from sleep hygiene and stress management to nutrition, movement, relationships, and more. We bring you conversations with industry experts and top performers to share strategies they have for cracking the code on health and human performance. Now let's get to today's show. What's up, Code listeners? Dr. Andrew Fix back for another episode. This one's going to be short and sweet, I hope. And it's something that's I'm pretty passionate about. But I think a lot of people hopefully will relate to this on both ways. And the topic is getting out of your comfort zone, right? So I'm not exactly sure what I want to title this episode yet as I'm recording it. It's either going to be something like do hard things or something about getting out of your comfort zone. But I just kind of want to talk about the importance of that, why I think it's important and ways that I try to do that, because I think it is so valuable. So much of our life, whether that's work, whether that's our cars, our homes, like so much stuff that we have and how our life unfolds is made to make us more comfortable, right? One example that comes to mind is just air conditioning, right? It's been hot this summer. It's fall now, but this summer was really hot in Colorado. How uncomfortable would you be if you didn't have AC at your home? There are many people in the world that don't have that. And, they deal with that on a day in, day out basis. Same thing with heat in the wintertime. Imagine how uncomfortable it would be if you didn't have that. I think of suitcases, right? We use rolling luggage and suitcases when we're traveling. Like that's just a invention that was made to make our lives more comfortable, a little less stressful, a little easier. And it's great. But one drop in the bucket over and over and over again, a lot of things are making it harder for you to step out of that comfort and to tap into getting outside of your comfort zone and make things a little bit more challenging. I used to have a background on my phone, like the screensaver thing. And the quote on there said, "Life begins at the end of your comfort zone." And I must have had that on there for years. Now I have like a Green Bay Packers logo or something on there that hasn't changed in a while. But I remember having that life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And it was just kind of like my daily reminder when I looked at my phone to, do some hard things and try things that, don't take the easy way out on things, because that's not always the best way to go about it. Right. So let me maybe give you an example, right, of getting outside of your comfort zone. And that might be as simple as, it's a little cold outside. I want to go for a walk, or I want to do some exercise. Instead of driving my warm car down to the rec center and walking on the treadmill, just put an extra layer on and go walk outside and deal with the fact that it's 45 degrees, right? And I would be willing to bet that any time that you step outside of your comfort zone, no matter how small it is, even though it's a little difficult at first to do that, probably never, unless something bad happened to you, but probably never do you regret making that decision after it's all said and done, right? It's a little uncomfortable to push yourself in a workout and make yourself feel uncomfortable. But after that workout's over, do you regret doing it? Probably almost no one does, right? It's a little uncomfortable to lace your shoes up, get out the door and go for that run. The first couple minutes, maybe you don't really feel like doing it. Maybe you felt like staying snuggled up in your bed. And we've talked about sleep a lot on this show. I'm not telling you not to get the adequate sleep that you want. But what I'm saying is, it might be uncomfortable to start, but you're probably not going to regret it after you've taken the steps and after you've stepped outside of that comfort zone just a little bit. You're probably going to be glad that you did and look back on that and feel good about it. And I almost like to look at the ability to put yourself into good, stressful situations, to do hard things, to get outside of your comfort zone, almost like a muscle that you can flex, right? The more bicep curls I do, if I'm using weight that's challenging for me, probably the stronger and more endurant my biceps muscle is going to get. For me, I feel like the same thing is true for getting out of my comfort zone. The more I do these like little things, the more they feel like little wins and they stack on top of each other. And it's like a snowball or a domino effect in a positive direction. It makes it a little bit easier the next time because I can look back on the experiences that I've had before in these little instances where I pushed myself just enough outside of my comfort zone to where I can say, oh, well, I've done that before, so I can do this. I've conquered that obstacle and jumped over that hurdle before, so I can do it this time. And it just makes it a little bit easier and a little bit easier the next time. And what you can do is you can take on slightly larger challenges without it being extremely, stressful or inconvenient. This is almost kind of how I feel about, getting into the sauna or getting into an ice bath. It's exposing yourself and exposing your body to in the moment, stressful situation, stressful environment. It's hot, it's sweaty, it's hard to breathe, or it's cold, it takes your breath away. It's uncomfortable to sit there, but you feel better afterwards. And in the moment, it's a little stressful and it's uncomfortable. But then afterwards, you're like, I'm glad I did that. And then it makes it a little bit easier. I was walking last weekend and I walked to the gym. It's only about 10 minutes away. And then while I was at the gym, it started to rain. And, I wasn't wearing like a jacket that was waterproof or anything like that. I didn't have, a rain poncho, but I just like literally looked outside and thankfully the temperature wasn't too bad. It was warm enough. And I just kind of thought of it like, well, this won't be that bad. I hop in the ice bath a couple times a week. Like I'm going to walk home in this rain. It's going to be fine. And, I threw my headphones in, listened to some nice music, and I walked home and it was so simple, right? What years ago probably felt like an inconvenience. Oh, shoot, I'm going to get wet. This is going to be a miserable walk home was like so easy to do. And I think that's only because I often will take myself out of my comfort zone doing little things, which makes trivial little things feel just like that. We had a podcast episode with my buddy Gabe who said, it's like you turn mountains into molehills, right? It's like what used to seem like this big ordeal is like another day in the park. You're just going to conquer it. You're going to climb up that hill and you're going to get over it. And then you're going to move on to the next one. And you're just taking one step after another. So I just basically want this episode to kind of be like a reminder or a PSA on get out there and do hard things. There's so many books and podcasts and things on this. That was kind of what triggered my mind. There's some recent books that have come out on, like the comfort that we have, the crisis of always being comfortable and how beneficial it is to do hard things and push yourself outside of your comfort zone so that you can experience the benefits that you'll reap as a result of that. So go out there, do some hard things, get out of your comfort zone, no matter how small or big that is, whether it's from an exercise standpoint, whether it's for, doing something spontaneous with your spouse or significant other, whether it's asking that person out on a date that you've been avoiding because it's a little scary, push yourself outside of that comfort zone. And I believe that you will probably be glad you did when it's all said and done and not have any regrets about it. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode on the code. If you have any comments or would love to share a review, please go ahead and do that. The reviews and the value that you guys get out of this show is really what makes it exciting for me to keep hopping on this microphone and recording episodes. We're going to keep awesome interviews and solo topics coming for you guys. So thank you in advance for those reviews, and we'll look forward to you next time on the code. Have a great day.